Hey everyone, David Burgess here again with Keller Williams Realty. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel on this beautiful day here on the Manatee River. Today we are discussing Lennar Homes and I have 10 expectations for you if you are considering a Lennar home in 2023 or beyond. As I'm doing this video today because I've been working with a lot of Lennar home buyers lately. I tend to go in waves with them. Sometimes I go through long spells of not working with them, and then other times I'm working with them very regularly. So today I have 10 expectations of what to expect, starting from the most positive down to the real negative. Expectation number one, expect to be pleasantly surprised by the wide variety of homes that Lennar offers and their overall product. They offer so many different types of homes, and not all of them are on the low end or that have very minimal or basic upgrades. They have some beautiful homes, and they really do have they really are going to differ on a wide spectrum, especially if you're looking at the WCI product. Some of them are going to have taller ceilings, some of them even have elevators in the home. You have homes that have impact resistant windows, gas tankless water heaters. They're going to have like the upper cabinets. They're going to have 42-inch cabinets, and then they're going to have the upper cabinets as well. Huge countertops, very open floor plans, balconies on both levels. They have so much on offer, and many people just look at the Lennar sign and think, well, they're a volume builder and they're an inventory builder, which they are to a degree, but I've been absolutely wowed by some of their floor plans, especially in some of their like boaters communities or golf communities, and definitely do not tar them all with the same brush. Number two, expect to be wowed by the communities that Lennar build. There are so many communities here that could be 55 plus. They could be very green. They build communities that are very energy and environmentally friendly, for example, with solar panels and things. They know how to tailor to the right communities, and when they do, they build some beautiful golf course communities, like I said, 55 plus, boaters communities by marinas. They know what they're doing. They really do. If you go to somewhere like Champions Gate in Orlando or over by Davenport there, not an area I work too often, but I have before. But they, that whole community there, which is like a resort style vacation kind of community, they've built the whole thing, and it has an Oasis club there. You would never know that it's Lennar Homes, but they really do know how to work with the right developers who can build these communities. And like I said, they normally really know how to wow you with their amenities. And like I said, there are certain ones that you really wouldn't know that were Lennar. Places like Lakewood National Golf Club and Golf Course, that is a Lennar community throughout, and they've stopped building there now. They might still have some condos remaining, but it really doesn't come across like a Lennar community. River Strand in Bradenton, if you look at South Shore Yacht Club in Ruskin, I know that's a WCI product, which is part of the Lennar brand, but wow, these are really, really nice communities, guys. So like I said, yes, the majority of them will be your more kind of average Florida community and neighborhood, but don't tar them all with the same brush. I promise you, there are certain ones that are really going to impress you, and it really just depends what you're looking for. But they do have 2 55 plus communities on the horizon, by the way. One which is Prosperity Lakes in Parish, and that's going to be a huge community. I'm really interested to see what they're doing there. And then they are building this community called Angeline up in Lando Lakes, which I haven't visited yet, but that looks like a very similar concept. So yes, Lennar's communities, they really do know what they're doing. Expectation number three, great incentives. Lennar really do offer more incentives than most builders, and keep in mind that you would have to purchase a home through their lender, or if you're financing, you would have to go through their preferred lender to get their incentives. But especially leading up towards the end of the year, Lennar's end of fiscal year is November. Usually around October, November, they have some really great offers to do with closing costs. And they, I had one in South Shore Yacht Club in November where they offered over $40,000 in flex money to go towards my buyer's financing, and it was like $1 million home. So a lot of that, obviously the higher the price, the higher the fees, and there's basically more money there to buy down the interest rate as well. But that is a lot of money. It basically covered all of the closing costs, and my buyer was able to buy down the rate as well. So yeah, closing costs, you will definitely see more with Lennar than other builders typically. Number 4, and I am starting to move down towards the negative side of things now, guys, because on the flip side of those closing costs comes a builder fee. Lennar does offer a builder's fee. They charge a builder's fee, shall I say, and it is 1% of the overall sales price of the home. So if you are buying a $500,000 home, they will charge you 1%, which is $5,000. If you are building a $1.2 million home, you will get a 1% fee as well. You will pay $12,000 of a builder fee, which goes towards absolutely nothing. So although, yes, they do offer some really good closing cost incentives, just keep in mind that 1% has got to come out of there. Unless you are a VA buyer, they seem to waive it for VA buyers, but not for anybody else. So if you are paying cash, you still have to pay this 1% builder fee. Why they do it, I don't know. It really is. It really isn't common amongst builders. In fact, I think Lennar are the only ones that do it. But just keep in mind that they do charge a 1% builder fee. And expectation number 5, inconsistency. If you have any friends that have built with Lennar, or if you've built with Lennar before, and you had a great experience or you had a really poor experience, I promise you that there is a very strong likelihood that your experience could be very different the second time around. You never know what you're going to get with Lennar. I mean, inconsistency with customer service, with build quality, with finishes, you name it. They are such a huge builder, and they have so many people that are going to be involved in your purchase that they may just not, they may be new, they may be out the door, they may be coming and going. I can assure you that everything will be very inconsistent. I could sell 5 Lennar homes tomorrow, and I know that I will get a different experience absolutely every time. And it really just depends on the sales agent you're working with, the construction manager that you're working with, and other factors like the supply chain issues, and labor, things like that. It really is down to so many factors if you're going to have a good experience or not. So definitely expect inconsistency. Expectation number 6, no customizations. It doesn't matter if you're buying a low-end entry-level home at $300,000, if you're looking at a condo or a townhouse, or if you're looking at a luxury home in the $1 million to $2 million range. Lennar, pretty much every single time, are never going to let you choose what you add to the home. They're not going to let you choose where it's built either. They have predetermined what is going in every single home and on what lot. So if you are interested in the Somerville 2 floor plan, for example, and you want white cabinets, this is how they operate. They're going to tell you, you also want to move within the next 3 months. They're going to tell you where these Somerville 2 floor plans are being built. They're going to tell you that they're going to build 20 of them in the community. They're going to tell you on what lots they are, how far out they are, and they're going to tell you pretty early on exactly what color packages are going in there. This is exactly the same, like I said, if you're building a condo, or if you're building a luxury, very high-end home with Lennar or WCI. You get no options to choose anything, and it is very, very rare. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a circumstance where anything could be changed. Sometimes they might not have something, they might run out of stock of something, and they might ask you for something small, if it can be put in there, and you might have a choice here or there with something, but very, very rarely. So expect no customizations whatsoever, and always know that they have already chosen exactly where every home is being built on what lot. You cannot choose a lot and then pick out the home to be built on a specific lot. Number 7, expect your construction manager to leave throughout the build. I've had quite a few circumstances of this where you are introduced to a construction manager, you have like a pre-construction meeting or a pre-drywall meeting, and the construction manager has left either to leave the company or has left to go to another community. This happens more with Lennar than any other builder that I'm familiar with, at least. And don't get me wrong, this does happen to other builders. They seem to get poached. They are in short supply right now. And by the way that Lennar manage their closings, I cannot say that I blame them. It looks like a lot of them are incentivized to close X amount of homes per month, and I think that the stress levels of trying to get them over the line, trying to appease everybody, and try to maintain standards, I think is very difficult for these guys. So they do operate differently to other builders. I'm sure that there are commissions in place for these construction managers, but I know that Lennar do put a lot of pressure, more pressure on their construction guys than and managers than other builders, because they build so many more homes. So yeah, I wouldn't expect to have the same construction manager throughout. If you do, then that's a bonus as far as I'm concerned. And I have worked with some great ones with Lennar, but I haven't worked with many that have stuck around for too long, unfortunately. Look, things might change in that regard, but yeah, like I said, just be mindful that your construction manager may leave at any point during your build with Lennar. Number 8, expect a chaotic closing and poor communication. What happens is when Lennar, when your closing date is set, you will be CC'd on an email about 30 days out, and there will just be endless CCs of people that are included on the email, and it just seems like there are so many hands in the pot with the closing, but very few of them seem to take ownership of the situation, and it just seems very chaotic. I've had a recent closing in November where they just kept on messing around with the closing date, and my buyer was like, look, I can be there, but my wife cannot be there. She's in New York. How can we handle this? And they basically just said, look, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. We can have a notary go up there, and then we can FedEx it overnight. And we had to continually pull the strings in making that happen. They kind of just forgot that this was even needed, and we had to keep reminding them, saying, look, remember, you have to include the wife's circumstances. She's up in New York. We have to overnight this. And eventually they then put a mad rush on it and said, right, yeah, no problem, we're gonna sort this out. And they sent a notary to her home, and we got it FedExed overnight. It was all just really stressful. And then the following day at the closing table, they said, oh, we didn't actually need your wife to sign for this because you were paying cash, and the way that you've got the name on the purchase, she could have just signed an addendum. We didn't need her to do all of these documents. And it just summed up everything, really. It really did. And I've had closings where, especially during COVID, where they've made people close in their car. They've come out to the car and they've sat on the back seat. And honestly, it's just, I've also had closings where, we've gone to the closing table and Lennar have turned around and said, you're $2,000 short. We made an error. If you want to purchase this home today, we have to reconfigure these numbers, and you're going to have to bring more money to the table. They are typically all over the place when it comes to closing with them. You'll go to their title company. People are very laid back in there. They're kind of walking around and just going from office to office, and they're handling 50 closings in an evening. Like on their final day in November, for example, November the 30th, we had a closing, and they were working right the way up to 11:59 p.m. And it is just insane how they operate. It really, really is. And if you are closing in November, especially, I warn you that it's the end of their fiscal year. All they care about is getting you over the line, but the service that goes with that is just awful. You are just a number. You are you know, I've just never known a builder operate the way they do. It's really terrible. So that is expectation number 8. And moving on to number 9, I would just expect an overall poor service and a lack of care, to be honest. I hate to say this, but there really is. I just said a minute ago that they treat you like a number, and that is how you feel a lot of the times. They very much are stats driven and closings driven. I feel like the whole company are just, all they care about is getting you over the line. But in terms of, if you complain about anything, if you are unhappy with anything, I don't expect anybody to truly care. They might say, you know, yes, we'll put this right, we'll do our best, but they really don't care. And they will eventually get around to your concerns, but they're going to make you close on the home, and then they're going to put it through the warranty team, and you know, you are going to have to deal with them for any issues related to the home. If you have some tile work that you're unhappy with, if you have, it could be anything to do with the home. Even if you have like kitchen cabinets that are faulty or damaged or something, yes, they will absolutely write everything down and they'll pass it on to their warranty team, but they just don't really care. You never feel like you are you never feel like you are just a cared for customer and somebody that they really prioritize. You will never feel like that. And again, doesn't matter if you're at the very high end or the low end, you're just another home buyer with Lennar that they want to get over the line and move on to the next people. So it has to be said, and if you've closed a Lennar before, you will know exactly what I mean. And lastly, number 10, I did just briefly touch on that, warranty claims. You will inevitably have a list of items at closing where you will be transferred over to the warranty team, and they will try to come out within 30 days to correct any items that couldn't be addressed right before closing or at closing. And there's going to be there's probably going to be a good 5 or 6 items on there that are going to be, you know, concerns of yours. They're not going to be anything major, anything that has held back the certificate of occupancy or has made the home unsafe in any way, but they're going to be things that you're unhappy with. Like I said, it could be a cracked tile, it could be kitchen cabinets, it could be something that's missing from the home that needs to be installed or repaired or replaced, but they will get around to it. But once you're in the hands of the warranty team, you know, you are in amongst it with so many other people. You think of all the thousands and thousands of homes that they build. They do get around to their issues, but it might take longer than 30 days. But yes, everything is under warranty. But yeah, once you sign off on it, just realize you are out of hands with the construction manager, you're with the warranty team, so just expect warranty items. And that is my 10 expectations of Lennar. But as always, definitely take along a realtor with you. You know, we have great experience with Lennar, and I've got a really good feeling that I'm going to be working with them a lot this year, and this is why I've put this video together today. And I'm going to be doing short videos of Lennar communities and opportunities, and they really do have some great ones at the moment, but I'm always very skeptical of their process and not so much the build quality of the home, but it's more just what I'm dealing with. I never know what I'm going to deal with Lennar. That's just the nature of the beast with them. So if you have any questions about Lennar, reach out to us directly below. I'll be more than happy to help, and let's see what stories I come across this year working with Lennar, because inevitably I'm going to have some. So yeah, touch base with you very, very soon. I'll have more video content coming up, but as always, please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again.